Hoodie guy coming back here with another one. Well, sorry, I'm a little under the weather. Last time I was sick in 2022 was November, December, marked the bottom. But we got the Epstein, Quantum, Sailor, Liquidated, Tether, Losing Peg, Binance, Dip. Is 100% totally organic and not at all orchestrated FUD to shake out retail retards right before Clarity Act and is law and the institutional flood to take their Bitcoin at the generational entry point. Now, I think that the Democrats are trying to make it so Trump can't do like World Liberty Finance and stuff, and he's not going to sign off on that. Bitcoin on priced in gold keeps making lower lows. Kind of the lowest has been a couple 2 years, 2.5 years. You can see last time when it bottomed on this chart, basically it was November, December of 2022. It was, sorry about that, 9 ounces of gold per Bitcoin, and that was the bottom. So I don't know where the bottom's at. I wish I did, but just feels like we're closer to the bottom than the top. Bitcoin MVRV score has plummeted recently. Looks like the RSI might be uh, kind of one of the oversold territories it's been in a long time. You can see that monthly returns. We're stringing together uh, the fifth red month in a row. I think the most it's ever had was 6 here. We had 5 here, and then January of 2019. So that bear market was had 6 red months. We're going on month 5. So I forgot to add something else in this video, but basically there's some things that happened for the first time that we ever had the all-time high before the halving. Now we have the first time that we went below the price on the inauguration, or not on inauguration day, but election day. So, every 4 years there's a presidential election, and Bitcoins never went down below that price on the election day. And I think with Trump, it was like 68, 69,000. I saw some people say 73. There's intraday fluctuations, but if you just said 68, 69,000, we're well below that. So, it's a lot of ways we're in uncharted territory. Bitcoin's, always had, 3 green years, 1 red year. So those are 3 big things. They're, way different. Sorry about that. We've shaved a lot of market cap, $1 trillion in the crypto market cap. And then really, I think crypto is at 4.3 trillion. We've since the October. And, and if you actually go back to the Bitcoin gold, the all-time high was in January of 2025. So really, it's been a year-long bear market for Bitcoin priced in gold. So when that bottom is, I don't know. Feels like it could be getting close. I think 15 ounces was kind of some trend line, but that's just is what it is. Now, when you look, there is a lot of, you look at Michael Saylor strategy, they're down 6.1 billion. Tom Lee's down 8 billion. Bitmine with all the Ethereum they bought. Wallet number one, that tracking website, it doesn't work anymore. But they're down like $70 million. So it really hurts. Trader Benzui, thank you for popping in. So it hurts, so it's so far there's always been a bottom. I don't know when it's going to be. Right here, you can see that, $1 trillion, and then, ETH below 2,000. Right here, breaking U.S. employers announced 108,000 layoffs in January, up 205% from December to the highest total since 2009, the highest January total since 2009. So it feels like something's going to break. I don't know what. Another thing is Vitalik's trying to kind of change the path. He's kind of against the L2s on Ethereum, and he's posted some stuff where a lot of people think he's basically, looks like kind of a block dag. I haven't dove all the way into that. My brain's not really working, but you see a lot of people in the Kaspa army, Caspians in there, blowing up the replies, and that he's basically trying to cheat from Jonathan. And so, this guy is saying it's not a coincidence CZ gets pardoned 2 weeks after October 10th, because that was like, I remember he got pardoned, but I just didn't really pay attention to that. And I was like, yeah, it was a couple weeks after that big October 10th crash. CZ was pardoned by Trump, even though he's already out of jail. But to me, it feels like something's, even though Warsh is for quantitative tightening and he's not for the Fed balancing sheet going up, something's going to break, it feels like, and the Fed feels like it's going to have no choice, that they're going to have to step in with a bunch of money. I don't know what it's going to be, when it's going to happen, but you can see that the system needs more. It's taken more and more liquidity. The United States is having to spend more and more on the interest. Trump wants to bump up this defense budget to 1.5 trillion. Um, so I did see an interesting video by Black Swan, that YouTube channel, talking about, not all liquidity is the same. So sometimes you can have the global liquidity going up, but it's not all created the same. Just like not all water is the same. You can have salt water, dirty water, clean water, filtered water, spring water. So he's just saying that Bitcoin really needs liquidity going up, the right kind of liquidity. So, right now you just got to hang tight. That's what I'm doing. And even though I'm kind of a little under the weather, I wanted to pop and make a video, basically because, you know, there's like a lot of people, remember on, last year, there's a lot of times when people are saying that like $5 for this cycle is guaranteed for Kaspa. And, I like to, I'm sticking through this, and, went through the last cycle. I basically, the very first time I got involved in crypto in 2017, just a very small amount of money. And I actually just played it pretty good, bought in like June, July of 2017 and sold off in December. And I didn't really have much in there. So that bear market, I didn't really feel it, because the little tiny bit I had, I just took my profit and actually did pretty good. But it was not very much money. And then the last one, it's rode through it, and we don't know where the bottom is here, but there's going to be a bottom. And right now, my business sales are down. I look, and when we drop packages off at UPS, they're running less drivers. I guess they're running like 16 drivers last January, and now they're running like 12 drivers. So it feels like there's some, the economy's contracting a little bit. Our sales were down like 35% this January versus the January of 25. So running out of dry powder there, just don't have any. So I have to be tight, weather the storm, and then somewhere's going to turn around. When, how exactly, I don't know. But I do think that there'll be, for some reason, something's going to come up, and the system's going to need a bunch of money printed in. Risk assets will probably do pretty good. So that's all I got. I appreciate it. L Law Triand, I thank you for tuning in. So yeah, that's kind of a little bit of a nutshell. It just never feels good. I mean, I don't know. My portfolio must be down 60% from the high of these last couple of years. You look, since Trump's been elected, it, kind of went up last year. Altcoins, there's only a few altcoins that did good. And you look at BNB, which is manipulated a lot. It seems to hold up pretty well. But like, what top coins made all-time highs? Obviously, Bitcoin doubled its all-time high, or close, didn't quite double, but almost doubled its all-time high. Ethereum barely, maybe about like $100 made an all-time high. Solana made an all-time high. BNB, Cardano didn't even come anywhere close. So it's pretty much all we got. We appreciate you tuning in, and yeah, just weather the storm, get your game plan together, and I don't know when it's going to turn around, but it will. And if you believe in whatever you're invested in, doesn't just necessarily change just because there's manipulation. Thank you, Bubble Z3K. So that's all I got. Thanks for watching, and have a good day.